Hello viewer, welcome to our today's episode. We discuss geopathic stress. What is geopathic stress? Geopathic comes from two words, namely geo and pathos, which means earth and disease or suffering respectively. This is a term often used to describe a means of suffering in forms of illness owing to the stress caused by the electromagnetic radiations that emanate from the earth. Geopathic stress is a result of waves of radiation seeping through from the earth's core and cross over other natural electromagnetic paths such as natural underground water and streams, mineral formations, especially crystals, coal and oil, and caverns within the earth. Other dangerous sources include the fault lines and global grids and man-made interferences such as sewers, tunnels, large steel pilings, building foundations, and main electric lines. Of course, our living environments need these man-made resources. However, being aware of the effects allows us to make informed decisions of how we protect ourselves and our home and work environment. Geopathic stress is something over which we have no control, except perhaps being selective of where we live by having our home or workplace tested for this before we purchase or move in. Water, which is the most influential substance on this earth, is the common factor we share with all forms of life on this earth. Even though the quantity of the water involved may vary enormously from one living energy form to another, it is the movement of water and the vibration, resonance of flowing water, particularly underground streams, that has a definite influence on all forms of energy found on the earth. So when water moves or flows in an underground cavern, its motion and the friction against the walls create an electromagnetic field, EMF. And where two streams cross over or meet each other, there is a unique energy vortex formed, a spiraling current of energy rising up to the surface, causing geopathic stress. Negative fields become harmful as they rise up through buildings, affecting the body's natural biorhythm. If one is living in a house situated where these lines cross each other, this may give rise to geopathic stress. Geopathic stress does not cause any form of illness, but lowers the body's immune system, thereby reducing your ability to fight them. Geopathic stress slows and impairs the body's natural healing ability and weakens the immune system, leading to depleted energy states and impaired immune and lymphatic systematic conditions. Sleeping in the geopathic stress zones is particularly harmful as your body's natural defenses turn down at night to save energy while your body regenerates to prepare for the following day. If your body's defenses are activated all night to protect you from this harmful energy, your adrenal glands are working overtime and your immune system will gradually get weaker. So what are the physical indicators of geopathic stress? People who are sensitive intuitively move away from geopathically stressed areas in their sleep. Time and again, I've had this confirmed by parents who find their baby or young child scrunched up at one end or one side of the bed every morning. They are trying to escape from harmful earth rays crossing through a section of the bed. Parents need to take note of these and immediately move the bed. Other clues are if the child frequently has nightmares, wakes up crying in the night, or wets their bed. There may be other causes involved, but geopathic stress should be investigated. If you have a cat or a dog as a pet, they can often give clues as to where the harmful rays are situated. Cats adore the energy and thrive on it, whereas dogs have a total aversion to it. If your cat loves sleeping in a certain spot that is somewhere for you, to avoid spending long periods of time. This does not necessarily mean, however, that if your cat loves sleeping on your bed, that there must be geopathic stress where your bed is, because domesticated cats sometimes choose warmth, comfort, and closeness to their owner above the delights of lying on earth rays. However, if you move your bed and the cat still goes to the same position to sleep, you would almost certainly be sure to be sleeping on geopathic stress. This incidentally explains why pets sometimes will not sleep in the baskets. If your cat or dog won't sleep in the spot you have placed their bedding on, try moving it until you find a place where they will settle. I'm sure by now you are probably thinking, how can I tell whether I'm affected by geopathic stress? There are a number of personal health factors, apart from the environment ones that I just mentioned regarding the pets, which may suggest the presence of geopathic stress in your home or office. Resistance to medical treatment. Resistance to medical treatment, feelings of being exhausted, fatigue and lethargy, unexplained mood changes, nervousness and depression, allergies to food and other substances, asthma and respiratory difficulties, poor sleep, restless feet and legs in bed. Multiple sclerosis, motor neuron disease, Parkinson's disease, and many other central nervous systems are suspected to have links to presence of sleeping or sitting on geopathic stress. Links also include infertility, difficult pregnancies, miscarriages, and premature birth. Women are considered more likely to be at risk from geopathic stress because their hormonal systems are more susceptible. I would suggest from my experience with a couple of cases that all couples trying for a baby should get their homes checked for geopathic stress before spending so much money on other medical checkups. Of course, a skeptic will always say that a lot of people anyhow feel tired and irritable a lot of time. But affected individuals will report that they sleep far better and less tired once they're sleeping away from the geopathic stress, rather sleeping in a safe place. If we understand more about our environment, the more we can do to help ourselves and others around us. First of all is to take precautions, and the most common symptom of geopathic stress could be described as sleeping long and waking tired or not being able to sleep at all. The impact on health can be dramatic, ranging from irritability or lack of tolerance for others to serious psychological and physical illness and general feelings of depression. Let me just touch some research into geopathic stress. Extensive research in Europe over the last 80 years have led many experts there to conclude that being exposed to geopathic stress for extended periods of time can weaken one's immune system and increase the risk of cancer and other chronic diseases. The respected Australian researcher Kathy Batchelor surveyed over 3,000 school children and showed 95% of children with learning difficulties, hyperactive tendencies, or continuous bad behavior either slept or had their school desks or both in locations with marked geopathic stress. So when she moved the children into stress-free places, they nearly all showed a marked improvement, often going from bottom to top of the class in one term. She also checked a sample of 500 cancer cases, and each case was found to be sleeping over geopathic stress. Similarly, a survey was conducted of the houses of over 5,000 people who had died of cancer in Poland and established that geopathic stress lines crossed their homes in all the cases. So all of them were practically sleeping under the geopathic stress lines. Such a huge body of evidence has been built up in Germany, Austria, and France, such that so many medical doctors now routinely dowse to test that their patients' beds are safely positioned out of geopathic stress areas. So how do I know that I am geopathic stressed? If you or someone who lives with you becomes chronically ill and does not respond to treatment, geopathic stress is a very strong possibility. Ask yourself, did my health problem begin shortly after moving into this home or place of work? Did the previous occupants suffer from any serious or long-term illnesses? Does the illness seem to worse with change in season or wet weather? Does my home or any part of it feel unnaturally cold or damp or oddly uncomfortable? As I conclude, I would like to discuss how geopathic stress is detected. Geopathic stress is detected by dowsing. Please note that no studies have concluded that geopathic stress can be neutralized. The research findings show protection to exposure and some reversal in symptoms can be achieved using a dowser to identify and change sleeping or sitting positions to a safe place. Dowsing is a simple but a powerful skill which has been used for thousands of years. So it has also been observed that when the dowser walks over geopathic stress zone, the rods deflect. If I can just show you an example, these are the dowsing rods that I use. It's a very traditional method. Wherever there is geopathic stress, the rods will most likely deflect like this. If not like this, then they will deflect like this, where there are very strong stress lines. I came to know about the geopathic stress way back in 2000, and since then I guide the clients to arrange their furniture so that the beds, the desks, or even their favorite armchairs are all in geopathically stress-free positions. As a journey practitioner, whenever I have clients who have suffered from cancer or have sleeping issues or have nerve compressions, I always recommend them to get the houses or workplaces dowsed. And 100% of the time, they have either been sleeping or working on geopathic stress. I would like to share some cases. I had a case where I had a client who came from a family of cancers. An uncle, an aunt, and even a granddad all died from tumors and cancers, and she believed that she too had a tumor and complained suffering from stiffness in the neck, the head, and the left side of the body, disturbed sleep patterns, and etc. So he went for MRI scans twice, once here in Nairobi and then abroad, and all reports showed normality. So she came in for a couple of journey sessions where we worked with her beliefs and did some emotional clearing and dowsed her work and bedroom space. The rods remained deflected as soon as the dowsing started, which meant she was sleeping and working both long hours on geopathic stress. She rearranged her furniture, and within a few days, she called to say all pain and stiffness is no more. Followed up with her again after 6 months, doing absolutely well. Like her, many other cases have been worked upon, whereby I always prefer to do the journey method and douse the spaces too. Another case that I would like to share is with a lady who had difficult conceiving the second time. They had moved their home and her bed was on geopathic stress. I dowsed and moved her bed. Within 6 to 8 weeks, she conceived, and before that, she and her partner went through several fertility tests and spent lots of money on that. I would also like to answer some of the questions that you may have in your mind. And the common question I usually get from all my clients is, does geopathic stress line move over time? Yes. These geopathic stress lines do move over time, but unfortunately, we have no control over these as the earth plates are constantly shifting. Construction of buildings, quarries, and road buildings all can cause underground caverns that the water passes through to collapse. If this happens, then the water pressure will increase and force a new pathway. This will cause new geopathic stress lines to appear and existing ones to disappear. Another second common question that I would like to share, does geopathic stress affect all floors or is it only on the ground floor? Yes, it will pass through all floors regardless of how high they are, whether it's a 70-story building or even a 20-story building. As it is, these geopathic stress rays are emanating from the earth. However, avoidance is always the best policy. And the most important thing that you can do for your health is to get your homes and workplaces doused and ensure that you are sitting and sleeping in a safe place. While I use the traditional method of dowsing with two L-shaped rods, which has always given me the most accuracy, Mala Dodia, who appeared in one of our episodes, also clears the geopathic stress at an energy level. I repeat once again, avoidance of earth lines is always the best policy. And if the design of your home makes this impossible in terms of rearranging the furniture or moving your bed and your desk away from the geopathic stress as much as the best you can do in any situation, then please move to a new home as soon as you possibly can. Thank you, viewers. Stay safe.